Some people think that a relationship is hard, while some other people think that a relationship should be easy. And I'm here to tell you that there's actually a much more realistic approach to maintaining a relationship. And let me tell you what that looks like. So, prevention is the best cure, right? When you are stuck in the mud, it's probably because there is something that you haven't or have done on your end that has made contribution to the current outcome. If we assume the form of radical accountability, we will look at ourselves as the cause, wherever possible, and look at the effects and how we made contributions to those effects. So let me give you some real-world examples that will make sense. So when you buy a car, the car needs maintenance. If you neglect the car or abuse the car is going to, later down the track, cause you a big headache. If you buy a dog as a pet and you neglect the dog, it's going to be very bad. Dogs need love and attention, right? A dog isn't necessarily supposed to be easy. It's a balance between both hard and easy. The same with raising a baby. Raising a baby is both a miracle and a bit of a pain in the ass. And also things such as house maintenance, materialistic things such as houses need maintenance. If you fail to maintain the house over time, it subjects itself to entropy and falls into ruin. Entropy affects both the material realm and also the emotional realm, also the spiritual realm and mental realm. So just like when taking care of a dog or a baby, you have to put in hard work to maintain the status and the health of the dog and the baby, right? And the reason we do this, we put in the hard work to maintain the status of something like a dog or a baby, is because we also want to have that good time, that amazingness, the other side of the story. Me personally, I'm not really interested in having a dog, but I also do know what it's like to have a dog. I've had some dogs that weren't really mine, but I've lived with people who've had dogs, and I've had a great time with the dogs. But if you're going to have a dog, right, you have to accept the responsibility that comes with that. That's kind of the point. There's the responsibility behind the thing you want. I have a nice car. I have to accept the responsibility with maintaining the car. It's a little bit expensive. Dogs, babies, same thing. You have some type of responsibility when maintaining them. And the same goes for a house and whatever else is out there. These are the examples that come to my mind. Now, when it comes to the relationship, it's exactly the same. You do have to put in some hard work to maintain the status of the relationship. You have to put in some effort. We can't necessarily have it super easy going per se and just expect everything to work out without putting any work in. That kind of does go against the laws of nature. When I'm referring to the laws of nature, I'm specifically thinking about the law of polarity. There is a good side and a bad side. There's a dark side, there's a light side. There's a soft side, there's a hard side. Like there's literally antitheses to antitheses and opposites and things like this. And so with the good comes the bad. With the bad comes the good. With problems comes solutions. With questions comes answers. One cannot exist without the other. If you're already in a relationship and you don't take care of the relationship, just like the car, it's going to give you a massive headache. If you're a parent and you don't maintain a relationship with your children, the relationship will be affected over time, especially during their adulthood and the teenage years. So when we enter into a relationship, there is going to be challenges that need to be overcome. There's going to be conflict every once in a while. And when these things arise, this is just simply the nature of relationships. It's just the nature of them. We shouldn't be like complaining about that and fighting it and resisting it. We should kind of flow with the river instead and find ways to overcome the challenges and the obstacles that come our way and grow. And yeah, if you're still single, this is also important because by the time you enter into a relationship, which is not hard, by the way, you have to continuously maintain what made your partner feel attracted to you in the first place. You have to be challenging every once in a while. You have to continue to dress nicely and appear your best. Continue to have some type of goal every once in a while in life. That's kind of important to you. You don't want to be like this plastic bag drifting around in the wind and then just attaching yourself to a person you suddenly fall in love with. You want to continuously make yourself a magnet. And this is kind of the reason why people aren't magnetic, because they kind of stop doing things that make them magnetic. Being magnetic, right? It's kind of like this outcome status. It's just something that happens to you as you continuously spin the wheel of what makes you magnetic. You brush your teeth, clean your nails. Like, girls love when a guy has clean nails. My nails are fairly clean. I could do better, but that's the idea. You want to do simple things like this. The little tiny things add up, like compound interest. That's kind of another reason why relationships actually downfall too, by the way. People stop doing what made them magnetic in the first place. And then they get all grumpy and start pinpointing faults with their partner and start overinflating the other partner, the thought flaws. And so if you ever find yourself being the one drawing this negative, toxic behavior out of you, you want to kind of address that as soon as possible, because this is the nature of relationships. Sometimes these things will arise. It's kind of more of a spiritual problem rather than a sex problem, and you just want to address that. If your partner or romantic interest brings something to your attention, you want to reflect on that, work with that. Don't resist or fight that. So at the end of the day, it's literally, you have to invest your energy, time, attention, even money into the relationship. Like this whole split the bill 50-50 thing, I don't know if that's like an extremely leftist, westernized thing that's come about these days, or it's just like this weak man thing. I don't know what's happening there. But you do have to make some losses sometimes, and you have to make some bets sometimes. And if things aren't working out, you've got to take a step back. And it's literally all just about investing bit by bit into this eventual future. You're kind of looking at yourself 5 years in the future from now. That's what you want to be aiming for. You want to be thinking in the long term. You don't want to be thinking in the right here and now, because in the right here and now, nothing's going to change. The only thing that you can change is the pattern, to an extent. If you try to change the pattern by brute force, this can work for the short term, but for the long term, it might not work so well, because you dip down very quickly. You get exhausted way too quickly. So you have to make little changes with big impacts. And as the relationship develops, it will continuously need some type of adjustment, and you've got to pivot with it. Anything that stands still for too long turns to goop.